Hello everybody, so this video is entitled The ATM Dream. As you know, on this channel I have been a proponent of the dilution. I love MSTR dilution. I love that we are selling $100 bills for 117, 120 right now. I think dilution is how this business grows, of course. And of course, anybody who does basic math understand the MNAV play and the you sell shares when MNAV is above 1 play. But this is huge. $42 billion ATM, half on Stretch, the other half on MSTR. This is absolutely insane, and it dwarfs the news of the baby buy, right? Today we got a baby buy. That's what I said in my video yesterday. I thought we would get a baby buy. Yeah, we got 1,000 Bitcoin. We got a very small buy. The markets were very, very weak last week, like insanely weak. But this announcement trumps the baby buy. This is the big announcement that deserves our attention. Now, in typical strategy fashion, this is the simplest thing. 21, 21, 42, right? The answer to everything. You may remember, was it a year ago now? Year and a half ago? He had already done a 21-21 plan. That's the second time that Saylor does a 21-21 plan, and that expands the ATM on Stretch and on MSTR. And of course, we knew he was likely going to have to do that, especially for Stretch, because as you can see, Stretch was going to run out pretty quick. If we had another $1 billion week, $2 billion weeks, if you have two $1 billion ATM weeks for Stretch, then you would have run out. So we kind of knew this was coming. But I didn't quite expect this was coming this big. This was coming this big. So this ATM here will start after he's exhausted the rest of the ATM. And you can see the rest of the ATM is $2 billion for Stretch, $6.2 billion for MSTR. So, I mean, we're looking at what? We're looking at 50 billion coming up very shortly of buy pressure on Bitcoin, just for STRC and MSTR. 50 billion just coming in. Saylor is going all in. He is as all in as one can get. This is absolutely amazing. This is very, very much accretive. Now, don't forget, I also believe that at some point, at one point, he's gonna have to do more MSTR Stock ATM, especially, and that's what I think he is going through his mind, right? If Bitcoin goes back up, if we go back, if we get out of macro madness, if this macro ceiling that we have on all assets right now is removed, and we finally get the rally that we're supposed to get in 2025, MSTR is going to trade at more than 1.2, right? It's going to trade at more than 1.2. What's the long-term MNAV? What should it be? Should it be about 1.5? Probably. In my view, long-term MNAV should probably be about 1.5. It'd be about logical. That's kind of how Saylor designed the business. About a 150% correlation, roughly, with BTC. So to me, MNAV should be about 1.5. I think the market will go back to its senses, and we will see more MSTR ATM. Of course, the story of this stock for the past, I guess, 2 months has been Stretch. But the MSTR ATM will make a comeback. The market will understand why the MSTR ATM is so important. And we need to keep that ratio between Strike and MSTR. We need to have a lot of permanent capital Bitcoin backing Stretch in order to increase the credit rating on Stretch. Anyways, I am very, very happy about this. This is good for Bitcoin. This is good for MSTR. This is good for everybody. This is good for credit. This is good for credit. This is good for retirees. This is good for, pension eventually, insurance companies eventually, other companies eventually buying Stretch for their treasury. This is good for everyone. This is a really good news. I'm very happy that the capital markets are wide open for Saylor and for Stretch and for MSTR. Very, very, very happy. And of course, you could expect some headlines today. People saying, oh, Saylor's going to dilute more. But we know these headlines are just for clicks, because dilution is accretive when it comes to MSTR. These headlines are for click. Expect these headlines, right? This came out, an hour ago now. Expect the headlines, oh, Saylor is about to dilute you a whole lot more. These headlines are for engagement. They're for click. They are not the reality is that this is extremely bullish for the stock. So anyways, we're slightly more down. We're underperforming Bitcoin compared to where we should be. And of course, that's probably because the algos are seeing this as a negative, because the market is very smart. Says, oh, ATM bad. But if you know the stock, the stock should be way up on this stretch, slowly climbing back. If we don't have a macro madness this week, stretch should get back to 100. It seems like we are getting out of this macro folly. It seems like the usual playbook is playing out. Make a deal, come out strong, say something crazy, spook the world, and then come back with something more reasonable and make a deal. That's the usual playbook of POTUS. It's very much predictable at this point. It's always the same. So it's highly possible that we get a deal. I really hope we get a deal and they don't end up blowing up like water filtration systems and all that sort of stuff over there. I am tired of this macro madness, so I hope we get a deal. Lastly, of course, fear and greed is slightly going back up. So that's positive for the ecosystem. That's positive for Bitcoin. So anyways, very excited, but this was not investment advice. This is not financial advice. This is only entertainment. I'm hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful, wonderful day.